guys, it's Rai. Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to show you how to make homemade pizza. I love this pizza recipe and I totally want to share it with you because it's so soft, so bubbly, and it just pairs perfectly with the toppings. It's just so great. So I'm going to be showing you some different tips and tricks along the way, like how to make your oven the hottest possible, how to make a DIY pizza stone, and lots more. I understand that this is a yeast recipe, and yeast is kind of not the easiest thing to find right now. So if you want me to make like another video with a no yeast version of this pizza dough, don't forget to let me know because I will definitely do that if you guys want me to. So yeah, let's get right into it. So in a medium bowl, you're gonna add 2.5 cups of warm water, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 packet of active dried yeast. You're gonna mix that together and set it aside for 10 minutes to bloom, which is basically when it starts bubbling up a little bit. If it doesn't bubble up, then your yeast is a little bit on the old side, so you may need to get some new yeast and start again. Then you're gonna mix together 7 cups of all-purpose flour and 1.5 tablespoons of salt. Then you're gonna add in 6 tablespoons of oil, I used olive oil, and your yeast mixture. You're gonna mix that together and try to just hydrate all of that flour, get it all like at least a little bit wet. So once at this stage, you're going to get in with your hands to get it all like evenly incorporated and, you know, turn it from looking like this, like monstrosity, into like an actual nice ball of dough, like here. Look at how pretty that is. So then you're gonna need your dough for at least 10 minutes. And I know it's really annoying and it like takes forever to do, but just, you know, set the timer, do it for 10 minutes, and it really makes so much of a difference in making your dough taste and have a better texture. So then you're gonna create a dough ball by bringing in the sides of the dough into the middle, and then shaping it into a ball using the sides of your hands, like so. And then you're going to oil up a large bowl using some olive oil again. You're gonna put your ball of dough into the bowl, then you're gonna add more oil just on like the top of the dough and like on the sides. Then you're gonna cover that in some plastic wrap and you're gonna let that rise for at least 1 hour. You can do up to 24 hours. The longer you rise, the better it ends up tasting and the better texture, but again, you can do it just 1 hour and it still ends up being super great. Then you're gonna pour out your dough onto a floured surface and you're gonna knead it for 1 minute. This is just because the dough hasn't really been risen like equally, like some parts have more bubbles than others. So just kneading it for 1 minute just really gets it all evenly incorporated again. Then you're gonna shape it into a ball again. Look at how pretty that looks. Then you're gonna cut it into 4 pieces. Each of these pieces should make 1 personal sized pizza. And at this point, you're gonna roll each of these into small balls. And if you want, you can put one of these in the freezer if you're not going to be able to eat them, depending on how much pizza you're going to be making that day. And you can save it in the freezer for up to like 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a month. So yeah, you're going to let this rise for 1 hour or just put it in the freezer, depending on what you're doing. Yeah. Then after that 1 hour, you are going to make a makeshift pizza stone by using an upside down baking sheet covered with aluminum foil. And then while that is still in the oven, you're gonna preheat that to 400 degrees. This just makes the oven as hot as possible and tries to recreate that pizza oven that you have at the pizzerias. You're obviously not gonna get as hot as the pizza oven, but you're gonna get pretty close by doing these steps. Then on a floured surface, you're gonna stretch out your pizza dough. I just used my fingertips to sort of just like push it out a little bit and using my knuckles a little bit. The most important part, and the reason we're just not using like a rolling pin, is that you don't want to pop any of the bubbles that you've put in there by kneading and letting it rise. So just make sure that you're being a little gentle and making sure you're preserving those bubbles. Then you are going to add your sauce. I used marinara, but if you want to make some homemade sauce, go ahead. I'll leave a recipe in the description if you want to do that. And it's just easier to use marinara. So then I'm going to cover it with some cheese. I used mozzarella. And then I topped it with some like Italian spices like oregano and some basil. Then on a flat baking sheet like so, I'm going to flour it and put my pizza on there. This just makes it super easy to sort of slide it into the oven like so, onto the hot pizza stone. So again, this is optional. You don't have to use this, but it does make it a lot easier to like put it in and out, and you're so much less likely to burn yourself if you do it my way. So just make sure to do that. Then look at this pizza. It's cooked, tasty, and amazing. Then you are going to do whatever you want with the rest of the pizzas. I decided to customize out some Alfredo, say mozzarella cheese, oregano, and then I added like vegetables. I added some bell peppers, I added some onions, mushrooms, and tomatoes. But really, this is your chance to customize it and make it your own, choose whatever toppings that you like and whatever you have. And yeah, this is how that pizza looks like. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to like and comment down below if you did. And if you want to watch more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification bell to get notified every time I post. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!